The rain tasted like ash. Elias Thorne, a surveyor for the Federal Works Progress Administration, spat onto the muddy track leading to Blackwood Manor. October 1942. Iowa. Nothing ever happened in Iowa, or so he's always believed. Now, the locals whispered of a sickness, a blight, that clung to the ancient Blackwood estate like grave mould. His assignment to map the property for potential use as a veterans' hospital. Simple enough. Except the Blackwoods had vanished 50 years ago, leaving behind a crumbling monument to eccentricity and rumours of something far darker. The manor itself was a Gothic monstrosity, a tangle of turrets and gargoyles that claw at the leaden sky. The wrought iron gates groaned open with a mournful shriek, revealing a drive overgrown with weeds. Elias adjusted his fedora, the brim pulled low against the rain. He's not a superstitious man, but the oppressive atmosphere prickled his skin. Old man Hemlock, the caretaker, met him at the front steps. Hemlock was a scarecrow of a man, all angles and shadows, with eyes like chips of flint. "Mr. Thorne," he croaked, his voice a rusty hinge. "You shouldn't be here." "I have orders, Mr. Hemlock," Elias replied, forcing a professional smile. "I'm here to survey the property." Hemlock didn't respond, just unlocked the massive oak door with a bone-chilling clatter. The interior was worse than Elias had imagined. Dust lay thick on everything, a grey shroud over forgotten grandeur. Cobwebs hung like macabre tapestries. The air was heavy with the scent of decay and something faintly floral and undeniably wrong. The Blackwoods were peculiar, Hemlock muttered, leading down a cavernous hallway. They dabbled in things best left alone. Elias ignored the comment. He began his work, meticulously measuring walls, noting architectural details, sketching the layout. He felt eyes on him, a constant, unsettling awareness. He tried to dismiss it as nerves. He was sketching the library, a vast chamber lined with towering bookshelves, when he noticed that a single book, bound in what looked like human skin, lying open on a table. The script was unfamiliar, unsettlingly organic in its curves. He reached out, drawn to it despite a rising sense of dread. As his fingers brushed the cover, a voice echoed in his mind, a sibilant whisper that seemed to emanate from the book itself. Asterisk, welcome, Surveyor. You seek to map what is already mapped. Asterisk. He recoiled, shaking his head to clear the phantom voice. Hemlock, standing silently in the doorway, seemed to notice nothing. The next few hours passed in a blur of measurements and sketches. But the unsettling feeling intensified. He heard whispers in the shadows, glimpses of movement in his peripheral vision. He felt the constant pressure of unseen eyes. He found a hidden staircase behind a revolving bookcase, leading down into the bowels of the manor. Ignoring Hemlock's anxious protests, he descended. The staircase opened into a vast underground laboratory. Glass vials and alembic stills lined the walls, filled with strange, phosphorescent liquids. A massive, circular device dominated the center of the room, covered in intricate carvings of grotesque figures. The air here was thick with an almost palpable sense of wrongness. And then he saw it. A single withered hand, resting on a workbench. It was attached to something wrapped in burlap, slumped against the wall. He moved closer, his heart pounding in his chest. He pulled back the burlap. It was a body, or what remained of one, twisted, elongated, with skin stretched taut over a skeletal frame. It was vaguely human, but wrong asterisk. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The circular device in the center of the room began to hum. The whispers in his head intensified, coalescing into a single, coherent voice. Asterisk, you have opened what was meant to remain closed. Asterisk. The body on the workbench began to twitch. Its eyes snapped open, glowing with an unnatural light. Elias stumbled backward, knocking over a tray of vials. The phosphorescent liquid splashed onto the floor, emitting a sickly green glow. He tried to run, but the door slammed shut, trapping him in the laboratory. Hemlock appeared, his face contorted in a mask of silent terror. He pointed a trembling finger at the circular device. "They were trying to heal Mr. Thorne," he whispered, his voice cracking. "They were expanding asterisk." The air crackled with energy. The circular device pulsed with light. Elias felt a searing pain in his head, a feeling of his very being unraveling. He saw images flash before his eyes, impossible geometries, landscapes that defied description, beams of pure energy. He saw asterisk then asterisk. The entities the Blackwoods had been trying to contact, the beings beyond human comprehension. And then he realized the truth. The surveyors weren't mapping the land. They were mapping a gateway. The body on the workbench rose to its feet, its movements jerky and unnatural. Its eyes locked onto Elias, filled with an ancient, alien intelligence. "Join us," it rasped, its voice a chorus of whispers. Expand your consciousness. Become one with asterisk or asterisk. Elias screamed. The world dissolved into a chaotic swirl of light and sound. He woke up in his motel room, drenched in sweat. The rain was still falling, drumming against the window. He felt disoriented, his head throbbing with a dull ache. He looked down at his hands. They were shaking, and then he saw it. Etched into the skin of his palm, shimmering faintly in the dim light, was a single, intricate symbol, the same symbol that was carved into the circular device in the Blackwood Manor laboratory. He tried to wipe it away, but the symbol remained seared into his flesh. He knew with a chilling certainty that he hadn't escaped. The Blackwoods hadn't been contained. He was now part of something far larger and far more terrifying than he could possibly comprehend. A telegram lay on the bedside table. He picked it up and unfolded it. It was from the Bureau of Public Roads. Asterisk urgently reassigned to remote location. Report immediately. Detailed survey required. Strange geometric anomalies reported. Priority 1. Asterisk. He looked out the window, at the rain-swept landscape of Iowa. The world seemed different now, expanded. He knew where he was going. He knew what he was walking into. The universe wasn't what he thought it was, and he was now part of the map,